Hi everyone, and welcome to AFM Stories YouTube channel. My name is Faith, and I have a special guest with me today. This beautiful lady with so much vibrance and life. Let me not butcher your name, God. Uwa Mfon. Is that the right pronunciation? Ah,
Yeah,
see, I made you guys proud.
congratulations.
Yeah. But yeah, we have a special guest today. She is a Chevening scholar, actually an incoming Chevening scholar, which is like one of the latest people that have gotten this amazing opportunity. So you're hearing from someone that just did it, just got it, is about to start the journey. I think that that's one of like the most beautiful things. And we're going to be learning about her journey, her application process, our lessons, and just tips that she has for you guys. Also, there's a lot of questions on my channel right now, so I would also be asking you some of the questions as well. So, how are you feeling today? Welcome to our Zoom session. You can just, say a few words.
Yeah, thank you so much, Faith. I'm glad to be here. Like you mentioned, my name is Wang Fon, and I work with Focusing on Women and Girls Initiative for Positive Change. That is actually one of my organization. I'm the co-founder of that organization, and I'm happy to be here with you today, Faith. I remember when I was applying for my Chevening, I came across your video on YouTube, and it really helped me. And today, I'm glad that I'll be here also. Giving some kind of answers to incoming chefness. So I'm glad to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
I think that's actually beautiful. Like for me, like every time I make these videos, every time I interview people like you, it's always a dream for me when like somebody watching this now comes up like on the channel to inspire like other people. It's like a ripple effect, like a journey, like an ecosystem of something beautiful. So thank you so much for watching the video, and thank you also for coming to help other people. I think that is amazing, and yeah, we're all excited to have you. So let's get straight into it. Tell me about your scholarship journey. Like, when did you decide that you wanted to apply for Chevening? Why did you decide to apply for Chevening?
Okay, so I think I've been in the space in the development space. I actually did not do anything development in my undergraduate. So after my undergraduate, the experience I had in my background growing up actually, fueled my passion to go into the space. I volunteered with an organization. I can remember sometimes in, I think 2022, no, not really, 2020, I came across Queen Elizabeth's Commonwealth Scholarship, but I think I was not really prepared because I did not know so much about scholarship. Being new in the field, I was not that enlightened about scholarship. So I just had to move along with my work and I got some fellowships, some trainings within Nigeria. Then sometimes in 2023, I was the Global Shapers Vice Curator. And then I went online and I saw that my curator has gotten Chevening scholarship. Sincerely, I did not know much about Chevening. So when I saw that the curator has gotten Chevening scholarship, her name is Goodness Ode. I don't know if you know her. I was like, wow, Chevening scholarship. So I had to go and read about Chevening scholarship. And the fact that she actually got the scholarship in her first application, like the first time she has ever applied for scholarship, was
Wow.
like, I was like, wow. So if she can do this, that means me too, I can do it. So I had to go and read about Chevening scholarship. I got to realize that it is in the UK, and they also, really give chance for leaders, especially those in the development space, and maybe leaders doing other things in their community and all of that. So I was intrigued. So I decided to research more, and then I was also selected for Innocent Chukwuma's fellowship at Lagos Business School. So when we went for the program, the Lagos Business School, I don't even know what happened, but I think I have a peer partner. I had a peer partner at that time that, I don't know, I just mentioned that I would love to apply for Chevening scholarship, and I learned that it's opening up sometimes in August. And the guy was like, I'm a scholar. And I was like, hey, this is an opportunity. So I was like, okay, I want to apply. And the guy was like, don't worry, when you are ready and you want to do the application, I'm going to put you through and all of that. So the whole thing started when I saw my curator got it in 2023, and I was like, If she can get it, I can get it. And I did not also do it alone. I have to look for people who have been in the space. I have to look for people who have passed through the process. I have to also, do a whole lot of YouTube videos, watch a whole lot of YouTube videos where I came across, AFM stories. And then today we are here and we've been selected. And I'm happy to also let you know that it's also my first application. I got it at first application. Yeah.
Wow. Like that is amazing. I feel like anybody that hears that should be inspired. So if you're watching this and this is your first time, believe that you can get it. And even if you've gotten rejected before, still believe that you can try again. I think for me, I got mine in my second try. My first try, I think I was longlisted. Then they used to do like longlisting and things like that. But now I think it's just shortlist and interview. But then my first try, I got longlisted. I almost got discouraged. I didn't want to apply, but I tried again and I got it. So if you're watching this video first time, please apply. If it's your second time, you can still get it. We are rooting for you and maybe we'll interview you next. So my next question is actually about the application process. So when you saw the website, you saw like 4 essays, interviews, application to schools, like how did you navigate? Like, because Chevening has a lot of like moving parts. You have to apply to the university, you have to write your essays, you have to get referees. How did you navigate like all of that?
Yeah, so what I will tell everybody who wants to get Chevening scholarship is first do your research, right? Do your research, because I've seen some persons who say, I want to apply for Chevening, I want to do this, I want to do that. Then they'll still come back to get you. Can you help me with the link? You will not do your own research. See, the person that possibly is there to mentor you will not be able to put you through everything. Like the person that mentored me did not put me through everything. The only thing the person did for me was to review and proofread my essays. So looking for school, navigating the website, I had to research on my own. So you really need to do that if you really want to get it. Don't depend on anyone. Don't rely on anyone. So first, before the application even came up, I belong to one of these opportunity group. They call it I Discover Opportunity. Even when the questions were not out yet on Chevening website. So I saw that the person, I think that mostly Chevening repeats their
Yeah.
questions. So the person had already put
Mm.
those questions up in the Discover Opportunity and provided some generic answers like that. So I picked that up and then I started working on my application. I started working even before the application opened. So I started working on my application. When the application opened and then I was able to log into the website to register, you first need to log in and then register, like sign up to have like an account with them and all of that. So when I did that, I went to check on the questions. I saw the requirements, the documentation. I think you have to have your transcript, your
Yeah.
international passports, and then your degree certificates. So I had to go through all of that and then come back and work on my questions. Seriously, I used the application opened August. I used August, September, October to work
Wow.
on my essay. I was having headache.
I
You understand
remember.
how I was having headache. As in, I had a very, I don't know, my mentor is a very serious person. I will send the person will review and send it back to me. You have to do it. He will also send me some resources. Go and check how this person answered this question. Go and check how this person answered this question. So what I will say is first prepare. If you can get the questions from previous scholars, that will be fine. Prepare, look through the questions, start preparing your essay right now. And then once the application comes up,
It's
please,
already open, by the way. Oh.
yeah, oh yeah, that's true.
Like 2 days
So
ago. Yeah.
yeah. So take your time, log into the website, register your account, and then don't rush to answer the questions because there are some eligibility questions, and people fell at this stage too.
Yeah.
There are questions that you're supposed to answer yes to, and you answer no. So read the eligibility
Yeah.
questions very well and then understand. I know that it could be confusing. Do you have criminal issue or something like that in the past? Some persons do not really understand the question. They will answer yes instead of no and all of that. So really go through the eligibility questions and answer them very well before even jumping into other the essay questions and providing other documentations, right? But please, I would say do not rush. You can use 1 month to study the website. I was always doing it. I was
Wow.
always doing it, trust me. I was always doing it. My husband was really helpful. Sometimes I would just be scared to click on something, and I feel like if I just click, the whole thing would just go. And I would just look at it. Should I click? Should I not click? Should I click? Remember that part that you have to submit your document, and they say once you submit, you cannot remove.
Cannot
And
hear.
once I log in and I see something, I'm like, should I submit? Should I not submit? Should I submit? I would just be scared. I was telling my husband, please come and look at this thing for me. So I really advise that you take your time to study the website, and also you take your time to answer the questions. And please be careful while answering the eligibility questions before you submit your application.
That's like seeing there's no better intro to this application process than that. See, we have an amazing guest. Me, I'm just blown away. Thank you so much for that. Like that's something that I've also noticed that people also do. Like when people tell me, "Oh, I want to apply for Chevening," I'm like, "Yes, apply." They ask me, "What's the link? What's Chevening about?" I'm like, "Do your research first, so that anybody that wants to help you, whether a mentor or a scholar like you or even like AFM stories, if you want to even watch our videos for them to be useful, you have to first do your research and then you now know like the things that you need and stuff like that. And people are even more motivated to help you when they can see that you are pulling your weight. And you mentioned having your husband, see, have a supportive community. This scholarship journey is a lot. It can be lonely. So definitely having somebody definitely makes sense. So let's even go into like the application. So one question that keeps coming up on my channel, and even when I talk with people, is choosing your course for Chevening. And personally, I feel like that's like one of the most important things because a lot of what the things you write can be hinged on that. So how did you go about choosing your course and how would you advise people to go about choosing their course and how important do you think the course is in this application?
Okay. Yeah, so thank you so much. I think that choosing your course it's dependent on individual, right? Because you have to, like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, that in my undergrad I did education, I did technical education, but after the whole stuff, I had to get into the development space because I really wanted to provide solutions to some of the problem I identified in my community. So in that, I had to choose a course that is in line with my career path, not really what I did in my undergrad. So if you are that kind of person that maybe you want to continue in the line or of what you studied in your undergraduate, or maybe you've had a master and you want to go for your second master's and you still want to continue in that line, you can go ahead and research the course based on what you studied or what you actually really want to do. But if you want the course to be along your career line, you of course go on that. So I am into gender, I'm a gender person, and I really want to study more about gender analysis. So I had to choose a course on gender analysis in global development, and that was my course. So because I was particular about gender, I had to review universities that offer this course. So you need to look out for universities. If you log onto Chevening website, you'll see where you can research your course. You'll see where you can research the course by university. So just put your the course or the university that you want to go, and they will give you a lineup of universities. Just take your time and research them one after the other. Look at the university, look at the course, look at the university, look at the course. If you see the one that is in alignment with what you want to do, of course, you can go ahead and click on it. It will take you to the university website. You look at it. Once it takes you to the university website, you'll be able to go through it and then you read the requirements. Does your cutoff mark or your cutoff point, what you scored in your undergrad, meet? Is it in alignment with what they want, right? So because some schools also, like my school, my course, at least you must have 2-1. Do you have a
Mm.
2-1? Do you have your transcript? Did you finish school in so time? And all of those, you see their requirements. And if it's in line with what you have and you know that you can go for it, of course you go ahead and there's apply button. I think they always also open around that Chevening, around the Chevening application process. So you can go ahead and start applying to the university. Another thing I would really want to mention while you are choosing your course and choosing your university is look out for the university that Chevening is writing as Chevening partner, because a whole lot of people have problem at the in the end, right? You apply to school, you get unconditional offer, and then they reach out to the school. The school cannot partner with Chevening to support your scholarship. Of course, Chevening will come back to you and tell you, okay, your school does not want to do this. Would you want to go for another school? And imagine that you had unconditional offer with just one school. You've lose out. That is why the selection process is conditional until you have gotten your final award before it can be called unconditional. So I will really advise that no matter the course you're going for or the university you're going for, please go for universities that have Chevening partner on it. Chevening partner on it is very important. And I think there are reasons Chevening really puts that Chevening partner, because these people have been partnering with Chevening on this scholarship over the years, and they will always agree on their terms and conditions, and then scholars will always be accepted into their school. So I really advise, when you are navigating or looking for your course, please be sure to choose a course or school that is in partnership with Chevening, and then take your time. You can use 3 weeks, 4 weeks to research for course. You don't need to rush. Chevening has given enough time. You don't need to rush it. Just take your time, go to the site. You will see where you can research for courses and university. Take your time, go through them one after the other. Pick the ones that you like, and then go to the school website, apply for it, if that suits what you really want to study.
I really like that as well. Also like tips for university applications, because last year I know of someone that applied to 3 schools, and all 3 rejected the person, and at the time of the interview, she had no schools.
Wow.
So I don't know if you can just talk on like application tips to universities in the UK.
Yeah, so I actually think that it's really a simple process, because I did not really have difficulties. All of these things I did them myself. I did not involve any agents or anybody. It was just I and my husband sitting down in the comfort of my house, and we're doing this thoroughly. So I think the application process is really easy if you are able to provide your information right. You should have your transcript ready. You should have your IELTS. My course actually required IELTS, and I had to write IELTS. So you should have your IELTS, which is the International English Language Test. You should have it ready. You should also have your degree certificate ready. You should I think, what other thing did they require? I think those are some of the basic documentation. And I will say that please do not lie. They will ask you, if have you ever applied to study, have you ever applied to travel to any country and you've been rejected visa? When I saw this question, I was looking at it as if it's a trap. I saw it in Chevening application. I also saw it in my school application. And I was like, is this a trap? Seriously, I was confused. I wanted to say no, because I was thinking, if I say yes, they would deny me the scholarship. But I had to think about it again. I called one of my mentors and was like, this is the question. What do you think? He told me, if you've been denied, of course, you have to say no. If you've not been denied, you understand. If you've been denied, said yes. If you've not been denied, you said you've not been denied. I also asked my husband, I was like, put that you've been denied. You did not steal anybody's property. I mean, did you steal anything? I said
No.
no. So yes, and you need to keep that refusal paper if you've been refused visa. Please don't throw away that document, because they will ask you to upload it. So
Yeah.
documentation is very, very important, right? So just get them ready, get your transcript. If you've not started processing that, please process it. Get your transcript, get your degree certificate, get your recommendation letters. Yes, definitely need this too, and the school also need it. Like my school actually needed a recommendation from an academic lecturer in my school, in my former school, and all of that. So I had to reach out to one of the lecturers in the school to provide recommendation rather. And they don't have to send it to me to upload. They send it directly. So I will put the person's name and the person's email, and the school will send email to the person directly, and the person have to respond directly to the school. So I don't even know what the person responded and all of that, right? But I just have to tell this person that I'm applying to this, and this is what they require. Please help me provide recommendation. So if you've not had any good relationship with anybody in your former school, well, I don't know how you are going to do that. But I think that relationship is very important, because they definitely ask for recommendation, and you will need to reach out to somebody to provide that for you. And another thing we also say is personal statements. Personal statements is very, very important. Personal statement is very, very important. You need to sit down and write it. Please don't go and use Chat GPT and copy it and come and dump. No,
I
they
know.
will know.
Yeah. You have no
They will
soul,
know.
no
Please,
life.
Yes. So you really need to sit down and write this. So what sometimes I advise people to do is when you sit down and then write it on your own, you cannot take it to ChatGPT to proofread and do some corrections for you. It's better that way than for you to go and tell ChatGPT to give you personal statements. It will be generic. It will be generic. There will be nothing personal there. So I'll tell you to do it yourself. If you need someone to proofread it for you, can give it to someone that you know is good to do that, or you can still take it to ChatGPT to correct, do some sentence structure for you before you submit it. But don't use ChatGPT to do your personal statement. So your personal statement is required, recommendation is required, your transcript, your academic results, your what did I mention again? Your IELTS is important, your passport is important, and then other document is just your some personal question. Then if you have been refused visa, you'll be asked to submit that paper of that was given to you at the embassy. So you need to scan it and also upload it. School differs, but my school requested for it. So you need to prepare all of those documents, and then other ones are just personal questions, your name, your former school, and all of that. So I think it's easy to answer if you have every document ready. I'm talking plenty, sorry.
Oh, please don't talk. Oh, you're killing it, my dear. You're giving a master class. Like I can imagine anybody that is just like, who is this person? So thank you so much for that. That was very insightful. I think we should now go to the meat of this because many people want to know how to write Chevening essays. I feel like the essays are the make or break in the application. Every other thing is important, but your essays is what will get you to the interview, as well get you to the shortlist stage that will make them read your reference letters and all of that. So I feel like the essays are very important. So we're going to be talking about the Chevening essays. So let's start from the leadership and influencing essay. Based on your experience, how do you think people should approach this? How did you approach it? Just talk to us about the Chevening leadership essay.
Okay. So thank you so much, Fred, for the question. Like I mentioned earlier, please, once you get into this, there's no need to rush. Take your time. You can even do one question in maybe in a week and then relax, go for the other. You don't need to rush. So for the leadership question, I will say that first you need to sit down, just sit down first, and then think about the things you have done in maybe in your community, maybe when you were in school, and maybe even in your church. Think about I'm coming from the development perspective, right? Think about the things you must have done, even if you gather people on the street and teach them or share food with them and do stuff. Just sit down and think about that. So when you sit down and think about this, you can now start collating it into writing, right? And then also um sorry about that.
It's fine.
All right. So also, secondly, what I would need to say is you don't need to start with definition. You don't need to define who a leader is, because I've seen in some application, even in yearly application, I was helping someone review yearly application. I saw that they also asked this leadership question, and the person was defining who a leader is. They know who a leader is before they ask you now, of course. So there's no need giving all of that. Just get straight into how you have demonstrated leadership. Like for me, I will recommend that you always start with an introduction,
Mm.
right? You should always start with an introduction. Don't just jump into answering the question. Always start with an introduction. For instance, I have my essay here with me. When they asked my leadership question, so this was like my introduction. I'm just going to read it for you. My ability to actively advocate for gender equality and women's rights through entrepreneurship, work with diverse teams, and provide solutions to community problems demonstrate my ability as a future leader. That was like my introduction. And then I get into the next paragraph, which I have to talk about during my National Youth Service Corps, the things that I did. And what I will also mention is the STAR approach. I remember hearing this a whole lot when I was going through video. STAR approach is very, very important. Don't answer it randomly. I saw people on the street, I give them food. This what happened? I even saw those people on the street. You understand? So STAR approach means that first of all, you should be able to identify a problem. So it's situation, task, action, and result. That's STAR. Situation, task, action, and result. So the situation there is the problem. What problem did you identify first? then the task there is like a solution. When you saw this problem, what solution came to mind? You understand? So, for instance, you saw people on the street, they were hungry, and the next thing that came to your mind was to provide them with food, right? You understand? So that is like the solution that came to mind. The action is when this solution came to mind, what steps did you take to profiling this solution? Then the result there is after you have taken this action, what was the result at the end of the day? So you gave people food. Was that all? So did you also teach them how to make food for themselves so that tomorrow you will not need to go back giving them food, right? So that's you have to use STAR approach. Like I mentioned earlier, start with an introduction. I read my introduction for you, and then go into the body of your essay, like answering your question now. So, for instance, me, I remember that when I started saving in Anambra State, I realized that young girls in that community, the community itself, after their SSC, they were not furthering their education. And I was like, what is going on? So I need to do research in the community, and I realized that most of these people were from a poor home. You know, that time the person that recently ran for president was like the governor of Anambra State, and education was like barely free, and people were able to go to school, right? So when they finished their secondary school, to go to university was a bit challenging because of finances and all of that. So when I realized that these people were from poor background, they could not further their education, what did I do? That was the problem identified. Then the solution I prefer was to gather these people, these young girls. I remember that they gave us a training during the NYC camp, and I learned how to make liquid soap. And I was able to train a few of these girls how to make liquid soap to enable them save up to at least pick up jam form. And before the end of my service, I was glad that about two of the girls were able to write their jam. You understand? They're able to pick up a form and then put in for their jam examination. And that was like a result for me. So I was able to mention that. I also went ahead to talk about after my NYC, I had to volunteer with an organization where I had to build more skills. And from there, I was inspired to set up my own organization where I was able to train about 500 women and with different entrepreneurial skills like baking and pastry, and also set up businesses for 20 of them. And also I went into the rural community, make some survey, and I realized that there were many women who were facing hardship. And I also offer training, apply for grants and all of that. So I'm really talking about this because I don't just want you to know, jump and start answering. Really think about the contribution you've made in your society, in the community, and point them out one after the other. Point them out one after. Start from the problem, the solution, what you did, and the result you obtained. If you're able to put this out, I believe that your essay will be perfect. And don't just stop there in the end. Give a conclusion that, okay, you were able to do this. So if I have the opportunity of being chosen as a Chevening scholar, I will continue to build my skill, build my knowledge, and also build my network to still give back to my community. So you start with an introduction and you end with a conclusion.
Brilliant. Like that was just a master class. Like I don't even have anything extra to add. That was just amazing. I just want to ask a question. Obviously, when we explain like star approach in this way, one question that always comes up from people is 500 words. How many examples should I give? How many examples did you give? And how many do you recommend that people should give? Knowing that it's 500 words and we need to do situation, task, action, results for each of those examples. So.
Yes, so yeah, thank you. You don't need to like write everything how it happened, like the way I explained how it happened and all of that. So just pick few points, just pick the most important ones, that you really made impact, and then just find a way to summarize it. You don't just have to put everything in details. But though my essays, all of my essays were like 499, I think I have one that was like 500. So I really like wrote. I really wanted to be gotten into to be
Yeah.
taken into this chefing stuff. So I really sat down and did a whole lot, right? So I will say that just summarize. You don't need to mention how it all happened, how you move from your house to the community, how you move from the community and enter KK. No, you don't need to do that. But just summarize everything in a way that you know that if someone pick it to read it to make sense to the person. Just try to summarize your leadership skills and the thing you have done in your community.
Yeah, so you say summary. You don't have like any specific number of examples. It depends on the person, right? Because
Yes,
I'm
it
like,
depends.
can I
Like me, I
write
think I
one?
use.
Can I write two? Can I write three? Like, I just want to just speak on that because it's always coming up every time. And I'm like, there's no one way. For me now, I don't know if it's two or three I wrote. I don't really remember. But there are people that have written one, people that have written two, some people have written three. I just wanted you to speak on, like the number of examples, just in case.
Okay. Yeah, so like me, I think I wrote like three examples. I
Okay.
wrote three, but that were just short. So you can write one, you can write two. It all depends on you. Chevening word is about 100 to 500, right? So you don't need to hit the 500. You can do one and then elaborate on that one very well. You can do two and then summarize it. If you want to do more, just give like a summary. Like me, I did three. I
Yeah.
did when I was saving. I did when I started my own organization. And I did when I came down to Abuja and also carried research where I had to apply for grants and got it and all of that. So just look for the important one you really want to, the one you really made great impact and you really want to,
Mm,
feature them out there.
that makes sense. Okay. So let's go into networking. So for the networking essay, I think it's even now relationship building. What would you say about, acing a networking essay based on your experience?
Yeah, I think that Chevening is so. They are really passionate about networking. So you should really be able to put this down very, very well. So networking is not how you make friends and then you are going out there to have fun and all of that. It's not just that. Yeah, it can be part of that, but when it has to do with Chevening, it is not really that. So it has to do with you having a network of friends, colleagues, or whoever, and how have you been able to come together to do something good in the community to help people to build lives and all of that. So, like I mentioned in leadership, remember that with you should always start this with a kind of introduction. So if you still want to maybe listen to my own introduction, how I started my relationship building, I just read the introduction for you. I think that can also help anybody that is trying to put something down. So for my relationship essay, I started with, as a development practitioner, I have had diverse networking experiences rooted in genuine engagement and shared commitment to sustainable progress. Throughout my career, I have had the privilege of building my professional relationship skills, amplifying the impact of my work. Some of the most significant moments of my networking relationship are elaborated below. And I think I listed like three relationships that I actually made. So the first one was when I was selected for what is that, the Change Makers Fellowship, where I had to meet a friend of a colleague who later turned friend because of a passion and what I am doing aligned. A passion aligned, and we decided to come together to plan a project. So we met and we had similar passion and we decided to come together to plan a project. But before we planned that project, we visited a community in Kuje here, Calabar, to make a kind of survey about women in business and how they are able to keep their business finances. And we realized that most of them were not really able to keep their business finances in terms of making proper calculation, their capital, their profit, what should they call profit at the end of the day, and all of that. So we had to bring in an expert to do like a financial management training for women in business and also encourage those who were not having a bank account with some commercial banks here in Nigeria to open bank accounts to be able to also save some of their money and all of that. So that was one of the projects I and my
Mm.
friend came together to, like, through our relationship, we implemented that. And I also talk about how I met Nkechi. So remember that you can use name of people. I mentioned names. So the first person was Rifkat. So the second person was Nkechi, where I met at Lagos Business School. And Nkechi also is doing similar thing that I'm doing. She's the founder of Iwogra. Iwogra is a women-focused organization, and my organization is also women-focused organization. So we came together to apply for a grant to implement a project in the rural community. So the networking should be, okay, when you see this person, what happened next? How were you able to build that connection? So building this connection, were you able to come together to do something? And it does not only need to be you meeting somebody. Your place of work also, you can also build relationship there. So I also mentioned that during my volunteering experience with an organization, I mentioned the name of the organization, Neighborhood Care Foundation in Calabar. I also I developed good relationship with the founder, who is Victoria Emma, and together, and because of that, I was recommended for when organization were looking for an opportunity of a programs officer. She gave me recommendation, and I was able to secure that employment. So that's still part of relationship, right? So you don't necessarily need to just because you meet this person, you did leave. Your place of work, the connection you've built, the recommendations you've gotten, right, can be part of your relationship building essay. And remember that you always end with a conclusion. When you finish analyzing all of this, know that, oh, if you have the opportunity to be with Chevening, you also build relationship that will, you people will come together to still do something that will scale the impact of the things you do in your home country. Please always bring it back to your home country, in your home country. Yeah.
Oh, that was amazing. Like your networking. See, you're just giving us everything, and I'm sure that everybody that is watching this, you are feeling the heat. Like I'm sure your notes are full, because mine is. Anyways, let's go into the third essay. The study in the UK essay. I think this one a lot of people struggle with structuring the essay, how to arrange it, what to focus on. I've reviewed a lot of essays, and from my experience, this essay is one essay that people are always having issues with. So, based on your experience, can you walk us through how to structure this essay? What is important, and just the best way to write a strong study in the UK essay?
Mm. While working on your essay on why you choose your three universities, remember that you're going to choose three universities. It doesn't necessarily mean that you can do different university. You can do the same university but different courses. But what I will actually just advise from experience is please don't do the same university because it's very risky, right? It's very, very risky. I remember that when I was doing my own application, I put Sussex, University of Sussex, first choice, University of Sussex, second choice. And I was about choosing University of Sussex, third choice. Thank God for my husband, who is like the spiritual head, was like, don't do that. You are risking your application. Seriously, I was risking my application because you could imagine I had to choose another university for my third choice. And you could imagine that if I had chosen Sussex first, second, and third, I got to realize that we have like 100 plus scholars in Sussex already. And you understand the condition of Chevening. The whole thing now is kind of shaky and all of that. So I really advise that you don't do that. You don't do that. It's very, very risky. Then while applying to your school, while writing your essay on why you choose your three universities, I really want you to do your research very well. Please do your research on your universities very well. You can choose three different universities and maybe the same course or course that are related, right? But do your research very, very well. Make sure that you research on the school. You know where your school is located in the UK. You know the lecturers in your school. In your own course, you know maybe the lecturer or maybe the director. You might not know everybody, but just know few persons in the school. You don't need to meet them, but if you get to the website, you will see all those information. You also need to know, I think, like your school, is it ranked? At what rank is it in the UK and maybe other countries and all of that. So I really want you to do your research about your school so that you'll be able to, when you're writing your essay, you'll be able to, relate it to how it's interesting to you and how it's in alignment with possibly your career or your education. So like me, when I was writing my essay, I had to mention while I choose the university that the university is the first in development because I am going to study development studies. So the school is ranked first in development studies and in research, and they are getting to know about so doctor, and then reading her profile also intrigued me because I'll get to meet with the person and then learn from a wealth of experience and all of that. So do that relationship and then um, uh, explain why you're choosing this one as your first choice, this one as your second choice, and this one as your third choice, and how it's in line with either your educational background or your career choice. Then, like I always mentioned, that you should always start with an introduction. And I think I will just give you a brief of an introduction of how I started my own. So when I started my answering my how why I choose my three university essay, I started with an introduction and then I wrote Through my interaction with women in rural communities, I discovered that over 57% of women aged 15 to 49 have encountered physical violence, largely rooted in financial insecurity due to limited skills and employment opportunities. The first-hand experience has inspired me to further my studies in development studies with a commitment to finding more effective solutions to this pressing issue. Despite my undergraduate background in technical education, my passion for women's empowerment remains firm, right? So this is in line with my own career path, not really what I did in my undergraduate. So your three universities or the courses you are choosing should be in line with either your career path or what you study, so that you'll be able to tie it down, explain well why you are choosing all of this university and why you are choosing this course. But please really do your research. And in the end, like I always mention, please do your conclusion very well. Do your conclusion very well. So in my conclusion, I stated that ultimately my study in the UK will equip me with the knowledge to proffer solutions to the challenges faced by women, build collaboration, and achieve my vision of equipping women in rural communities of Nigeria with entrepreneurial skills that will make them financially stable and self-reliant. So start with an introduction and end with a conclusion. But the bottom line is do research very well about your university, so that you'll be able to explain why you are choosing that university and why you are going for that course and why it is important to you, and the relationship it has with either your career or what you studied previously.
Mm. That's amazing, actually. So, I want to ask further about the structure, right? So, did you do like a specific paragraph for each uni, or did you like join everything together? Like, how did you like, so you put your introduction, right? And then you did like paragraph one, school one, paragraph two. Okay, you did not list, it was in paragraphs. Because some people say, oh, you should list. Some people say, oh, do paragraphs. Some people say, oh, they join it together. I like that we are aligning that, because me too, when like people ask me, oh, how do you structure your essays? Like I always say, do an introduction and dedicate 1 to 2 paragraphs, depending, because the space self is not that long, to each of your universities and your courses, and you'll be fine. So I hope you guys are listening and you're learning from what she has shared. So now let's go into the odogu of all the essays, the career plan. I always say that this is the most important, because you're taking them on a journey from this is my leadership experience, this is my networking, this is what I want to study. Oh yeah, now that I've invested in you, what do you want to do? So I'll leave the floor open to you to, give us tips. I know it's going to be another masterclass, so we're excited already. Our lecturer, give us tips on
Yeah.
the career
All
plan.
right, Faith. Thank you so much, Faith. Thank you. So this is like the ultimate of it all. Even when you get to your interview, this question, they really need that deeper explanation, right? So this is like the ultimate of it all. You should be able to explain why, just like Faith mentioned, they've invested in you. When you come back, what are you going to do? Are you just going to waste the knowledge, or you're just going to fold your hands and stuff like that? You must tell them what your plans are. Why should they invest in you? Will you come back to benefit the next generation or other people in your home country? And remember that it's always in your home country. Of course, you're not going to stay in the UK to give back. You need to come back to your home country to build your home country. So I will say that you should really have a plan. If you've not had a plan, you don't know what you want to do, please use this few months that is remaining before you put in your application to think about what you really want to do. What are your goals? What are your career goals? Don't come and tell us that, yeah, it's fine to like maybe come back and then you want to work with an organization to build, they work with an organization to like also learn to help other people and all of that. But you should be able to put this very straight and put it down very well. Now, like for me, when I started my introduction, I had to like mention the challenges that is going on in my home country based on what I am passionate about. So it's not going to be like generic. You have to be consistent. You don't need to say in your first application, in your first write-up, you said you are working to provide women or girls with education. Then in your second one, you're coming to say you want to end gender-based violence. Then in your career, you want to say you want to do, no, you have to be consistent. Like if you listen to my application from beginning to the end, I am advocating for women's rights through entrepreneurship. And if you listen from beginning to the end, my introduction and that has always been around helping women, doing this for women, equipping women, and all of that. So you need to be consistent. So first of all, you need to even identify what your passion is. What do you really want to do? If you've not known, please sit down and think about it now and read more about it so that you'll be able to put this down in your essay very well. So when I was doing my own introduction, I had to first, talk about the issue that I have discovered in my community, and then why I want to, do the while I'm putting down these goals, and then how I'm going to go about, providing this solution based on the goals that I have stated down. So I mentioned that according to from my research, and this is my introduction to my career essay. According to United Nations report in January 2022, women's economics rights, human rights contributions and priorities have often been overlooked. They face higher levels of unemployment and are inadequately represented in public and corporate economic decision-making processes. This issue is also prominent in my home country. You see that I talk about the international and then bring it back to my home country. This issue is also prominent in my home country, Nigeria, where gender-based violence persists and women's economic rights are neglected. I am dedicated to enhancing the entrepreneurial skills of women in rural communities because I believe that empowering women better society and enhances economic prosperity and the well-being of children. Additionally, I aim to pursue a course of study in development studies to equip myself with the knowledge and skills needed to influence policies on gender equality and women's empowerment. My ultimate goal is to provide both skills and financial support to underserved women entrepreneurs in rural Nigeria. So if you listen to like that my introduction, Shebi it is sweetie for body sumo.
It is sweet. Like if I start reading that one, like, I'll
So
just be like, give her the money, give her the scholarship, give it to her.
yeah, so that was my introduction. So I had to like look out for the problem that is pertinent to the problem we are facing in Nigeria, then globally, and bring it down to my home country, and then mention why I want to study this course, because I want to build more skills to be able to, provide solution to this problem that I have identified in my home country. Then I went ahead to say, following the completion of my studies in the UK, right, my short-term goal, you have to mention the short-term, medium-term, and then long-term. So my short-term goal was to partner with the universities here and then work with students that want to go into entrepreneurship after their studies, then create a kind of mentoring platform for them where they can meet with mentor who will coach them even while they are in school, to give them this a kind of background knowledge on how they can become better entrepreneurs. That was like my short-term goal. So building students or providing a mentorship platform for students where they can have a mentor that will build the entrepreneurial knowledge so that by the time they leave school, they will be able to do something. They understand how business space work, and then they can start up their own businesses. Then my second my medium-term goal was to also partner with like the banks to provide like a kind of soft loan to women who are already in business for them to scale their own businesses, and then see how we provide a platform that they will make them to be able to pay back this loan. But first they will get it to scale their own businesses, and then they can able to pay it back and then continue to grow their business. Then my long-term goal, which is that part of them all, and I think we have started that already, though we have not gotten like a physical space for it, but we have started that already. So, and we have also registered the name of the organization already, is to build like a vocational training center, right, for young women, young girls, young boys who are ready to do different entrepreneurial skills, from digital skills, baking. It's going to be like a vocational hub, you understand, where people come in and then they have them trained. So people in underserved community will receive this training for free, while people that have the money and they still want to purchase this skill will need to pay a token for it, so that we can use the income that we gather from them to also help people who are underserved, who do not have the finances to be able to do this. So we build their skills, and then in the end, the underserved people in rural communities, we will also need to set up like businesses for them after their graduation, and also give them like a grant for them to be able to start up and then also run their own businesses. So I also mentioned I had to do my research and see that the UK government is even trying to partner with First Bank to do this, to give like people in business some kind of money that will help them. So I put that in my essay that the UK government is planning to partner with First Bank of Nigeria to provide businesses to some underserved people in the rural community. And this will be an opportunity for us also to partner with First Bank to benefit from this money so that we can use it to scale our business and provide, a kind of financial support to women who want to start and run their own businesses. So you have to also look up for what the UK government is doing that is in line with what you are doing and tie it down to your plan. It is very, very important. I think I noticed during one of my research, I also got to realize where FCDO, the Foreign Commonwealth, is also doing something around gender-based violence to prevent gender-based violence. I also tie it down. I mentioned it and put it in my own essay career plan, and that this will also help based on this policy. I will also learn this and bring it back to my own community to reduce this and also scale this. You understand? So you need to really do your research, because Chevening, like I mentioned, is not just a kind of random application that you just write and you just get selected. You must do that research. They must see that connection. They must see that you have done that research. What is UK doing about this thing that you're already doing or you want to do? You have to put it in your essay and you really need to explain it very well. Remember that we, the Nigerians, if I know that many Nigerians will see this video as well. So we Nigerians, it's really competitive. If you look at the application, I think we always have more Nigerians putting for this kind of
Yeah.
application, for this
Over
Chevening. So it's
8,000.
really, imagine, so
It
it's really
feels like 40
competitive.
something. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really competitive and you really need to structure your essays very well. Put out your plan very, very well. I remember when my mentor was telling me that time that, Mfon, I said, yes. He said, I need you to sit down every day, read this essay. I remember that my husband read my essay more than 200 times. I keep saying that. When he wakes up in the morning, before I even
Wow.
make any breakfast, I'm giving him my laptop. Please go through this. And he will always, he's the one correcting this today. But when you read that same thing again, we're like, this thing is not sounding well. Let's correct it again. So I
Wow.
finished my essay and I left the application in my laptop for more than a month. Every
Wow.
morning when I wake up, my husband will read through. I will bring it to him in bed. Please go
Oh,
through this thing. He will read. When I come back in the evening, he will read and he always make correction until when I was satisfied that I gave to my husband, I gave to my mentor, I gave to this someone that coaches me on public speaking and all of that. I gave it to him to also go through it. And trust me, more than one person read my application. It was when I
that's
gave to the
wow.
last person and the person came back that it was fine, that I now had to let me submit it. So I wrote this thing. I remember I felt sick. I won't lie to you. I felt sick writing my application. This
Wow.
is the only application that I've stressed my life. So I felt sick writing my application because I need to do thorough research. I read, I
Mm.
researched. My husband was like, I said, this guy, you must read this thing, you must read. He was tired of me. So he has read my application more than 200 times. So
Mm.
please do not be in a haste. Do not be in a haste. We have August, September, October, and then first week of November. So you have time to really start planning your application. Put everything together. Don't be in a rush. Really think about your career plan. Really think about it and look out for what UK is doing in line with your career plan
Mm.
and then bring it down to your essay. It will really stand you out. Trust me. I think I've talked so much and I really want, if you are putting in for this application, really take your time. Really take your time and study it and then do a lot of research and then take your time and write it. Don't be scared to give it to people to read. Look out for people
Mm.
that will help you read. So there were people, my mentor was doing the structuring for me, like the answering the question.
Mm-hmm.
So different people read my application for different reasons. My mentor was reading to see that I've been able to answer the questions according to Chevening standard. Then my husband was reading to correct my grammar. And then that my coach was also
Find a
reading to see
supportive
my sentence
partner.
structure exactly, my sentence structure, my punctuation, and my so different people read it for different reasons. So please give
Wow.
it to people to read for you. If you have someone that knows English very well, please give it to the person to do all the punctuation, the sentence structure, and all of that for you.
I relate to that as well because I know my essays too. My dad was like what your husband was for you was what my dad was for me in my essays. I think I wrote like 50 drafts. I would send it to my dad on WhatsApp, on text. Every day my father will be reading. My father read those essays to the point that I think he even knows them by heart. Also like my bestie as well. She'd be like, because one thing I've realized sometimes, especially when you give it to people that know you. There's some things that I even wrote. My friend was like, but you also did this now. You also don't have you forgotten about this? Have you forgotten? I know that sometimes they even remind you of like things that you do not even remember that you can do as well. So giving people that know you, giving people that obviously are good with English. My father is good with English. So even though me, I feel like I write well, but yeah, I know that there's nothing I want to write that my father will not be able to improve on as well. So definitely do not make the mistake of sending your first draft. I really like that you stressed that because some people think that if you apply on the first day, it's not by the time I applied the last day. It's not by I'm not saying apply the last day is a bad idea too because the website is to crash. But you don't have to apply on the first day. So like all the things you're just saying is just like I'm just agreeing with everything because yeah, it's just you just have to spend time. Anything you spend time on, it will show in the final result. And start writing now. Like you said, start writing now. Do not wait till 1 week and think you can start writing the essay in 1 week and submit. Some people do it though. I've heard of stories where some people said that they wrote it in 1 day and submitted and they were lucky, but no, it's not everybody that has that story. So I also want to ask, based on your experience, because now you've completed the essays, you've submitted, what do you think helped you to stand out? Like in terms of getting selected? Because many people apply for development in Chevening. Even when I spoke to the program officer recently, she talked about the fact that development is a very popular course. So it's very competitive. In your own opinion, like from the other side, I don't know if you've met scholars or, what do you think helped you to stand out and what can people do? Because, like you said, 8,000 people are applying for seven, or I don't know how many it is this year. How do we make ourselves more competitive? What were things that you think helped you to stand out, basically? So,
Yeah, I think that the things that helped me to really stand out, first, I would say was my consistency. So if you look at the flow of my essay from the leadership to the career essay, I was consistent on my plan, right? I was consistent about helping women overcome gender-based violence by providing them with skill. I did not like say I want to help women, I want to help children, I want to know. I was
mm,
consistent that I want to help women and this is what I want to help them do, right? Then the second thing I would say also make me to stand out will be the research I made. So if you listen to my essay, you always see where I tie it down to, okay, according to so, and this thing is also happening here. According to so, and this thing is also happening here. So I did like a global research and then bring it down to my home country that is this same thing is also happening in my home country. And then I was, though it's not really about, because there are some persons that doesn't mention statistics in their essay and they still scale through. But I think if you be able to do research and see what is
mention.
going yes going on out there and then bring it back to your home country, you know that it is not only your country that that problem is happening. It might be like a global problem, right? And we need to profile solution to it. So another thing I will also mention that really stood me out is I will really say that I was really particular about my career plan also. I was really particular about my career plan. If you look at it from the first one to the last one, they were kind of how will I call it? I think one after the other, they were kind of connection. That's the right word. They were kind of connection. First, I am particular about making women have that entrepreneurial skills, and I said I want to train these people that are still in school first so that they'll have that knowledge. And then secondly, I want to help the people that are already in business to scale their business. And then thirdly, I want to provide a platform for people who want to go into it and they don't even have the resources to come and even build their skill for free and then still scale. So I would say that you should really be able to talk about yourself. Don't be generic. If you look
Mm,
at my essay, it was really personal. And even if you were doing the thing with people, Chevening is about you. Chevening is
mm,
particular about you. It's not who you did it with. It's
mm,
not
mm,
who. So we. If you consistently use we in your essay, I'm not sure you are really going to scale through. So it's even if you did that thing with a team, at this particular point when you are writing this essay, you have to use I, my team and I, my team and I, even if you need to bring in the team, right? I did this, because Chevening is particular about you. So be consistent in your writing. Don't jump, don't beat around. Let it not be generic. Let it be specific about the things that are related to you. And let it be you, not even if you achieve it with team, still mention that you did it, right? And also, please, when you are, let your career plan be clear. Let it be clear from the short term to the long, to the medium term, to the long term. Let it be clear and let them be connected. Don't say in your short term that you want to build a school. Then in your medium term, you want to open water in the hospital. What happened to the school? You've already built a school, you're living, you're going to open water in the hospital. Then in your third, you want to buy cars for people that don't have mobility and all of that. There's no connection, right? So
Mm.
your short term, your medium term, your long term, they should all be connected because you're starting here, but this is where you are going. So this is where you're starting from. You're starting small, and tomorrow you expect it to be big, and this is the bigger picture of it. So I think if you are able to do that and you are consistent and you do your research very well and you are particular about you, that Chevening is particular about you, not faith, not one for, not any other
Mm.
person but you. I think you'll be able to scale through. And it's not about the first submission, just like Faith mentioned, please take your time.
Thank you so much for that. Like I said, every time you just speak, it's just a master class. So I don't have anything to add to that. So thank you for your time and everything. Do you have any final words for us before we go?
Yeah, thank you so much, Faith. I also want to really appreciate you. I've gone through your channel, even when I did not meet you in person. I actually just think that dreams do come true because I remember going through your video and I sat down in my closet and I was like, one day I also want to be here. I would love to be interviewed by Faith. I didn't know you.
Oh,
Seriously, I didn't know you, but the passion. I remember when you also doing your video with some other scholars. I saw that passion, and even when you told us that the way you were answering your interview question, the passion to
oh my, I was
the
passionate too.
yes. So I think I connect, and then I was like, one day I'm going to be here with Faith and also do
Oh,
this. And
you're making
today
me teary up.
it's actually like a dream come true.
Oh,
So
that's
I really want to appreciate you, the work you are doing. I've been following. I saw I think one of your recent video when you got the British Council
please
award, and
apply when you come back for
of
that thing.
course, yeah,
Apply.
I will.
Social
So
action. Yeah.
I really want to say well done. I saw when you started your YouTube, and I've seen where you've gone to. So
Oh,
congratulations to you on that, and well done on the work you're doing and your consistency. And then to everyone who want to put in for Chevening scholarship this year, I really want you to stay focused, right? Just as I mentioned, please stay focused, be personal because Chevening is about you. Chevening is personal. So be personal, be specific, and stay focused on your goals. So if you're passionate about children, please stay focused on the children. Don't jump from children to men to women and all of that. Just be focused and then get a mentor. You cannot do it alone. Trust me, no matter how you feel that you know it, you will not be able to do it alone. You need someone to put you through, you need someone to review your application. So get a mentor. If I believe that if I felt I could do it alone, I would not get to this stage.
true.
So get a mentor, get someone to put you through, trust people to read your application, and then take your time to work on it. Don't rush to submit it, and don't also submit it on the deadline. I think I submitted mine like 3 weeks to the closure. Yeah, so you can also do that, or you submit a bit maybe earlier, bit not very early. Just take your time to keep reviewing your application. Put in your best, and above all, don't forget to pray. Don't, if you believe in God or whatsoever thing you believe in, trust in that thing, and then always do a word of prayer even for your application as well. And I believe that you'll be able to scale through. Please do research. It's very important. Do research. Research is very important, please.
I love it. Thank you so much. Have a great day and bye. Thank you so much,
Bye.
everyone. Bye.